Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome back. I took a little bit of time off over the holidays to just be more present with my family and enjoy the time with them. So, this is my first video of the new year. And with being kind of offline, not being on social as much, not being on YouTube, I also was just like not searching online a lot. And coming back from that, I have noticed how loud and in your face the rhetoric of, I know how to do this. This is going to get you X. This is going to make you happier. This is the thing. This is the thing. This, right? And I get it. Like part of it, I haven't written the description yet or the title yet for this video, but there may also be some element of that, right? Like we want to excite you and kind of reel you in and get the message. And in some ways, that's wonderful if the intention is coming from a place of love and service, in my opinion. And often it's not. Often it's coming from a place of lack and fear and scarcity and all of these other more negative emotions. And what I have noticed kind of coming into this new year, the new year, everyone's creating intentions and setting resolutions and starting to sit with like how they want this year to look for them. And it's so clear to me how many people probably will not hit whatever goal they set for themselves. And I'm saying this with so much love, and I'm saying this from a place of don't fall into this. And it's because they are giving their power away. They are giving their power away to the person that they think knows better than they do. Okay? And maybe as you are listening to this, you're like, yep, that hits, that resonates with me. Maybe you do this. And again, there is never any judgment here. This is all about bringing awareness, right? Just sitting with what wants to come up, seeing what wants to be activated within. We are all on our own journey. We are all having our own human experience. We are all having different lessons that come up for us at different times and in different ways. And it's all beautiful and it's all perfect and it's all exactly as it should be. But here is what I see when we give our power away. And I want to quickly say that 2025 is going to be an incredibly transformative year. It is very much about the self this year. It is very much about self-empowerment. And I love this conversation, as I'm kind of thinking of some of the themes for 2025, because it really is about bringing your power back, or, the power is always there. It's just remembering that you have so much more power than you realize, and you are so much more capable. But we live in a world that makes money on telling people that they don't know, that they don't have the power, that they don't have the answers, in addition to, making them feel fearful and not enough and feeling lack and scarcity. And that's like a gazillion videos that I could make, for probably the rest of my life, but we're not going to get into that right now because I shook the camera there. But I really want to get into, again, this idea that your inner guidance system, your intuition, your personal journey, right? Like your personal human journey, your personal spiritual journey, it does not and will not look like anyone else's. So the second you can stop looking outside of yourself for the answers and start resourcing that within, that will completely change the trajectory of your life. And it starts right now. Like it is, we think that, let's just like use New Year's resolutions. It's just easy to talk about right now because we're all in it. And, again, this very much has something to do like about wanting to achieve a goal or, hit our resolutions or whatever that looks like for you. But when we are looking outside of ourselves for the answers, right? We're like, I'm going to go all in this year. I'm going to become my best self. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to achieve all the things. And if you don't have a super solid foundation of being able to trust yourself, being able to regulate your own nervous system around what that looks like and feels like for you. And what I mean like that, I mean what that goal looks like and feels like for you, what the steps of that looks like and feels like for you. If you're not able to do that yourself, it's going to be a challenging and wild ride for you. And, I believe that our journey is exactly as it's meant to be. So if you're like, this video doesn't resonate with me and you're going to just go have whatever experience you're going to have, beautiful, wonderful, that's exactly what you're meant to have, right? But if you're here, maybe this is what you need to hear. Maybe this is what you're meant to hear. Maybe you're like, you know what? I have tried it so many different ways, or maybe you've tried it the same way for the past 10 years, right? You've tried to get healthier for the past 10 years. You've tried to start that business for the past 10 years, whatever that looks like. You've tried to get a new job, right? But it just hasn't worked out. What if you took a different approach? What if you took a gentler approach, I would like to say? What if you took an approach where you, instead of going all in on doing more, of doing this thing, of looking outside of yourself for the answers, what if you went all in on trusting yourself? What if you went all in on trusting how life, God, the universe, source, creator, the divine, goddess, right? Whatever resonates with you most. What if you went all in on trusting the greater plan unfolding for you? And this can feel really scary and intimidating because sometimes it's like, if I surrender, I'm not going to hit my goal, right? We think that when we let go of control, we're not going to get the thing we want, right? Like if for some reason we think that if we're not the ones like putting in the work and doing the thing and making the strides, that it's not going to happen. But in my experience, and in the experience of so many other amazing, beautiful souls that I know, it is quite the opposite. It is when we let go of some of that control and we trust, things start to work in our favor. When we become more gentle with ourselves, when we stop judging ourselves, when we stop judging our lack of progress, when we stop judging our like lack of like, I'm not there yet, I'm not at the finish line. When we stop that, and when we stop again looking outside of ourselves for the answers, for someone else to tell us how to do it. And again, I get like sometimes that's relevant, right? Like sometimes that's helpful. Maybe you have ate like crap your whole life and you're like, I literally don't know how to eat healthy food. And you're like, okay, I'm going to jump on Pinterest, type in healthy recipes, and maybe that's something to start with. But again, trust me, your intuition knows, right? The inner wisdom that lives inside of you is so smart, so wise, and not only that, it is yours. And that is really the most important thing, because when we are looking outside to someone else who we think has it all figured out or knows better, or maybe it's worked for them, right? I share things that have worked for me and they don't work for other people, right? I'm not here to say that everything I do like will work for you, right? I've shared I think I shared it in a video. anyway, I definitely have shared on my podcast, but my kind of my postpartum weight loss journey. And it was like when I finally freaking accepted my body, like truly accepted, not just accepted, found gratitude for the state of my body that I had judged for so long. Literally like that, I started working out, eating healthy, and lost the like more weight than I could have ever imagined. And it was just so effortless. It felt so effortless. And I talk about that all the time. Maybe someone tries that approach, right? Where I'm like, just try gratitude and self-acceptance. And maybe that doesn't work for them. I still would encourage doing it because again, that's coming back to the true state of your being. But all right, let's not get into that. All right. But anyway, when we look to other people, again, everyone's journey is different. What works for some doesn't work for all. If that were the case, everyone would be millionaires and billionaires, right? Everyone would be having like whatever experience they wanted to have. But what if the journey, what if the true, like real meaning of all of this is coming back to your own truth, the truth that you are so powerful, like that you are literally limitless, that anything that you want to do, you can do. When you allow yourself to come within, right? Trust yourself, trust your intuition, follow those nudges on your heart, follow where you're being called. When you do that, it turns out better than you could have ever expected. And again, it's like, but what if better than expected is different, right? What if it looks different? I feel like this is such a fear, and I've even gotten caught up on this fear before. And I was having a beautiful conversation with a soul friend this morning, and we were kind of joking about this, like, we're so trained to be like, I'm going to go down this path. This is the path I want. This is like the vision that I have. This is the goal that I have. And like sometimes it just feels like you're like sticking like a round peg in a square hole. You're not making any progress. And what if that's because this path over here is actually like what's being illuminated for you? Like this is actually like, we know you. We know the desires on your heart. We know those deep intentions of yours. We know the life that you came here to live and experience and the way you want to feel. And it's actually happening right here, right? This is the path. And I'm illuminating it for you. And it's so easy and it's so like beautiful over here. There's like sandy beaches and pina coladas, right? Like whatever that looks like for you. But we're so focused on what we have to have, or what we think we have to have, what we think is going to make us happy, what we think we need to do, right? But what if you can simply soften into another outcome or multiple outcomes or multiple opportunities, right? I say multiple, but it's infinite, that are actually available to you instead. So while I am not here to tell you to let go of your intentions, I have tons of intentions for this new year. For me, there is a softening that's happening. It is a surrender. It is not I need to achieve this, but can I just show up every day in the direction of this intention? Can I do that without judging myself or beating myself up over, not achieving it yet or getting there yet? Because if you haven't learned this yet, or you haven't been filled in on this secret, so often we finally do get to the destination and we realize that we're still not happy. We realize like, oh, this isn't the thing. And we start going to look somewhere else. The happiness is only ever found here. And that is the journey. The journey is coming back to your own truth. And then from that place of trust and love and enoughness and joy and gratitude and abundance and limitlessness, then what is available to you? Then what do you feel inspired and excited to create? Okay, again, I know this message is not for all of you, but if you're still listening to this, then there's something being activated inside of you. And I invite you to sit with this in meditation. Make sure if you don't already have a meditation practice, start a meditation practice. If you're not consistent with your meditation practice, get consistent. It's all in here. Last year, I had an experiment for myself that I called radical trust. And I, every morning in my meditation, listened to where my intuition guided me and took action. And I wasn't always perfect, but it really opened things up for me in a very profound way, in a very exciting way, in a very new way, in a very unexpected way, in a way that I never could have imagined, but it is better than I ever could have thought, right? And this year, my intention is to deepen into that, to deepen into the trust, to deepen into the surrender. I am like, how much more surrendered can I get? Again, I am human and I am not always perfect. And sometimes I fall back into that trap of thinking that I need to do something. And again, this doesn't mean like we just sit idly by, right? We just sit on the couch and watch Netflix and eat potato chips. I don't mean that at all. But we let go of the mind looping. Again, that judgment, those I should be doing this, I need to be doing that, or what should I do? Should I take this direct? Like just all the mind chatter. It's letting go of that. It's breathing, right? And then it's just taking the action that feels most aligned. And sometimes that feels really freaking scary, right? Don't be fooled by thinking that your intuition is always leading you like on the easiest path, if that makes sense, right? Like it doesn't always feel easy. Sometimes there's hard decisions that have to be made or things that feel new and scary, but there's like a knowingness on your heart, like a knowingness in your body, or at least that's how it feels for me, where I'm like, this feels scary, but I know it's the next thing. I know it's the next thing I need to do, right? Sometimes it's just that thing that's like, that keeps like coming back around. Like for me, it's like about a book. Like I haven't even like sat down to think about a page or what I want to write, but like this idea of a book just like keeps like looping back around to me. And at some point I'll like finally say yes to it and do it, but I am just not quite there yet, right? So, but it's that kind of thing where it's like that idea just keeps coming back around and it's like get curious about that. Do it, right? Um Again, with like I feel like healthy I don't want to use healthy eating. I use getting healthy and weight loss a lot because I feel like it's very tangible and easy to talk about. But I want to talk more about like and just being more intentional. Like maybe your intention or your resolution this year is to slow down, is to be more intentional. And you're like, I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to be more intentional with my spending and my eating and my house and what I'm doing and how, like, right? Like, it's so easy at the beginning of the year to just like make this like really big, wide proclamation. And I get it. There's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm and inspiration at the start of a year. But don't let the chatter of that overwhelm you. Okay? Don't let the chatter of, oh my gosh, it's January 15th and like my finances still aren't in order, or I still haven't like done my budget, or I ate a cookie yesterday, right? Like that's the shit that's just gonna derail you unless you take the time and sit and quiet and do the meditation and come back to your center and come back to what's true, right? It's okay if you eat a freaking cookie, right? The cookie isn't what is derailing you. It's now your judgment about eating the cookie that's going to make you just binge and eat like half a sleeve of the cookies. And then tomorrow you're going to say, well, I've already ruined the week, so I'm just going to eat whatever I want. And then you're falling off the rails, right? And then your judgment of that is going to keep you off the rails because now you feel so bad about yourself and so frustrated with yourself that you couldn't get it together, that you failed again, right? All this mind noise and chatter that doesn't need to be there. You had a cookie. Take a breath, have some water, come back to your place of center, right? You're still enough. Everything is okay. Whatever your next meal, like just have whatever you're going to eat again, right? Just be gentler to yourself. Stop judging yourself. Sorry, my computer screen went away there for a second. I apologize. But again, just stop judging yourself, coming back to what's true. This is again where we stop outsourcing the power. When we resource it from within, we don't have to look to someone else to tell us what to do or how to feel or how we think we're going to feel. We do it here first, and then you move from that place. And that is literally the secret that will change your life. I know it's super simple. I know it's not easy, but if you can start even so small, right? I love, I don't know who said it, but I've heard it a bunch of times, but if you're on a boat and you just are turning the boat just like 1 degree, it seems like nothing, but eventually you will end up in a completely different place. It's the same thing. Where do you want to bring more intention into your day, into your life, right? How do you want to feel? What is one simple thing you can do right now, right? One of the things for me is really getting more intentional about my spending and not just like rushing to buy something on Amazon when I need something, and just being more I have 2 young kids and I feel like I'm always buying things that they need for different things, and I'm just like, I don't know, do we need to be doing that? I really feel called to not be buying into this like mass consumerism culture that we kind of are all caught up in. And also when we're buying less stuff, we're bringing less stuff into our house, less stuff to clean, less stuff to then throw away, just like in packaging material and that sort of thing, less stuff to organize and find a home for. And so I am like, one of my intentions is like a major like overhaul, like purging stuff, cleaning stuff out, getting organized. And with that is, like less purchasing things that we actually just don't need. So that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy something all year, right? This is not about, okay, now I have to start taking things away. The second we start thinking like restricting ourselves, right? Well, I can't buy myself a new shirt. Like that doesn't seem fair. Like I should, right? Like when we go into this restrictive mode, like the body gets into like overdrive, like that feels really scary, right? So even if we're thinking of, instead of like taking things away, right? Even if it's like, okay, what is that 1 degree? All right, maybe it's not like taking away the cookie, but maybe it's like replacing, I don't know, a cereal breakfast with oatmeal, right? Like that would be a wonderful change. Or with like a protein smoothie, right? Like what are these little shifts you can do, and setting really healthy expectations that change does not happen overnight, and just simply stop beating yourself up, right? Trusting yourself, going within, not beating yourself up. These are just really the themes that will support you. And if you can again take time for meditation and journaling and just being aware of your own thoughts and what's coming up for you, it will majorly transform in very slight and subtle shifts every single day. And by the end of the month, by the end of 6 months, by the end of the summer, by the end of the year, things will look very different in a very pleasantly beautiful and surprising and magical, of course, way. So I hope that this resonates with you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I'd love to hear what your intentions are for this year. Are you excited about 2025? What's going on for you? Or just simply say hi and let me know where you are listening from. This year, I'm going to be sharing, still about manifestation, still about spirituality, but bringing in a little bit more, again, like intentional living. It's just something that I'm trying to do, like with spending and also eating, and some of these things that I'm doing, I just want to share because I don't know. I am a 5/1 in human design, and that's just something that I always feel called to do, is sharing things that I'm enjoying and doing So if there's something that like resonates with you or you want to hear more about, let me know and maybe we'll do a video about it. But it's so good to be here with you all. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.